Good evening, all. It is still 6 p.m. Still, people are joining to the meeting. We'll start at 6:05 sharp. Okay. Good evening again. Hmm. Then I will start. I think for 440 is the good number. We'll start our discussion. And before starting the discussion, I just want to introduce myself. Okay. Mm, okay. You can call me or you can refer me as. My name is Sriram. And now I've been working as a senior data scientist with the Pneumatics Research Lab. Prior to the Pneumatics Research Labs, I have worked as a NLP or data science team lead in a startup named as Jignai. And in that startup, I have worked as a team lead with a team of 5 members. And we have built two products based on the two healthcare products based on the payment integrity, in fact. Okay. And this is very brief about me. Okay. And my name is Sriram. And as far as this workshop is concerned, it is a 5 days faculty development program. And today is the first day in the 5 days faculty development program. And in the today's session, we'll start with the basics of GenAI. And as far as the 5 days program is concerned, and these are the topics I'm going to discuss in the 5 days. Okay. In the day one, even though there are people who are aware of what is GenAI and how to and what are the ingredients of GenAI, what is a language model, and how to work with the language model or how to interact with the language model. For the sake of people who are not aware of these basic things in the GenAI, I'll start my discussion from the introduction to GenAI and LLMs today. Mostly in the today's session, I'll discuss about the introduction to GenAI, what exactly is an LLM, and how to interact with an LLM. And as far as this uh, this FTP is concerned, we'll mostly deal with the large language models. Large language models, thereby, right after GenAI, I'll start my discussion with the large language models. Then we'll discuss about the how to interact with the different LLMs. This is the day one, our agenda of the today's session. And the day two, in the tomorrow's session, we'll discuss about the mainly prompt engineering, and in the prompt engineering, okay, in fact, prompt engineering is a part of something called as customizing LLMs. Okay, in the tomorrow's session, we'll mostly discuss about this customizing LLMs. Or very precisely, this prompt engineering is a part of context engineering. We'll discuss about this context engineering in the day two. And the day three onwards, in the day three, we'll discuss about how to build a basic workflow using LangChain. How to build a basic workflow using LangChain. And along with building a workflow, we'll discuss about how to evaluate this workflow too. But not very in detailed manner, but we'll try to discuss about how to evaluate these workflows. How to evaluate these workflows which are built using LangChain. And the day four, we'll be discussing about mostly retrieval augmented generation. And in the day five, we'll be discussing about the multi-agents. Agents and multi-agents, particularly it is a React loop and all. Okay. This is the broad overview of this FTP. Okay. Even though many people are aware of this introduction to GenAI and LLMs, today we'll start with the introduction to GenAI because there are people who are not aware of this. Then today we'll start with the basics of introduction to GenAI, LLMs, and the interaction with the LLMs. Okay. Now, we'll start our discussion. And there are a few things I want to communicate to you. The first thing I want to communicate is, okay, for all the 5 days, from day 1 to day 5, okay, the same Zoom link is useful. You can use the same Zoom link to join the sessions. And the second thing is, okay, a different attendance sheet for every day. Every day you'll find a attendance sheet, and at the end of the session, I'll share this attendance sheet, or sometimes at the middle of the session. Okay, based on the break and based on the topic closes, I'll try to share this attendance sheet. Okay. Every day, you'll get different attendance sheets. Okay, the day one attendance sheet is not suitable or not useful for the day two. A unique sheet for every day. Day one we have one sheet, day two another, day three, day four, day five. And maybe at the end of the session or sometimes in the middle of the session, I'll share this attendance sheet. Sometimes at the middle or at the end of the sessions. Okay. And to get the certificate of completion, you must attend all the 5 days. The eligibility of completion or eligibility for certificate. You must attend all the 5 days. Okay. These are the basic rules, and this is the basic overview of the 5 days FTP. Hope it is clear. If it is clear, we'll go to the next. We'll start our discussion. Oh, okay, fine. Slides. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Am I audible to you? I think this is the first thing I need to check. A voice is not clear, a voice is low. Okay. I'll take the laptop towards me. Okay. No voice. It is 6:09. Could you please confirm, am I audible to you or not? And I hope my screen is visible. Voice is clear. Thank you. Audible. Okay. Voice is clear. Thank you. Thank you. No need to further confirm about the voice. Please confirm about the screen. Is my screen is my screen visible or not? Yes, visible. Thank you. Thank you. No need to further confirm. Otherwise, I need to scroll a lot in order to see your questions. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. No need to confirm this. Thank you. Okay. Now we'll start with the very basic question. And many of you are aware of. You just try to respond through the chatbot. What is generative AI? And I always, at the starting of every topic, I try to discuss these two things, what and why. And maybe some of you are aware of this, or most of you are aware of this. Just I want responses from you. If you respond, that would be very energetic to me in order to discuss things. Yes, what is generative AI and why? If not why, just respond about what is generative AI in your words. Okay, I don't want any definitions. Just some uh, just in your words, in your own words, and very concisely. Assembling or generating. This is a good definition. This is a good way. Generate new text, image, voice. AI. Okay. You need to be very specific about this AI. What is this AI? Using AI for regular tasks. Mhm. Okay. Creating artificial data. Okay. This is really good. This is really a good thing. Okay. It's the level at which AI can start generating new content, creative content. Okay, this is good. Uh, Not just automating tasks, not always. And this is not the generative AI has many other possibilities rather than automating the tasks. Okay, AI can generate anything, not anything. Okay. Rewriting the text, not rewriting the text, it generate the content which is very similar to the humans. Hmm. Generating data using large language models, generating text using large language models, really good. Content based. Generates content based on the user input. This is good. Generate images, yes. Not only content, images, text, and videos. Okay. Deriving something new. Uh, okay, something cooking something new based on the available. Okay, create new content. Okay, creative content. That is fine. Generated text from training data. Oh, not just the training data. It generates text. Uh, it generates text based on the training data. It learns from the training data and generate text which is not same as the training data. It is different from the training data. Generative AI works based on the feeder data, and yes, 0% trust agent. Okay, even there is a mechanism or even there is a technique that you can trust, something like the retrieval augmented generation, which can which can give references to that you can trust. Okay. This is for the data science process, not just data science process. AI that generates information in the multimedia format, yes, multimodal format, even that is fine. New content is new creative content. Hmm. Okay. It's a kind of AI that create original content using users' creative content. Okay. This is good. A deep learning frame, perfect. A deep learning framework that can generate synthetic data using already, yes, yes. Uh, a deep learning framework, yes. Maybe we don't find enough time to discuss about the deep learning framework, which really, which is underlying and which is really used to generate the content. Type of AI that creates new, yes, creative content. One model which is which okay, yes, which can process something and which can perform something without human intervention. And as I have already mentioned, generative AI is not only suitable for the agents. With the generative AI, even you can build some static or pre-planned workflows too. Not only suitable for the events, for the pre-planned workflows, the planning of the workflow is done by the humans. There is an intervention. Generative AI is suitable not only for the agents. If it is agents or agentic workflows, no need of any human intervention. But if it is a static or pre-planned workflows, then human intervention is needed. Uh, you can learn human language. It can learn language, anything. It reuses, yes, perfect. This is good. But the last line, it reuses what it knows to solve the problems. In fact, there are some terms and conditions for the last line. The terms and conditions are it happens, it solves the new problems only when the number of parameters are large. Otherwise, it limits to only understanding the data. It's a really good response. Mm. Deriving something new, perfect. Based on the history and okay, history and memory too. Yes, this is a really good answer again. Okay, even memory is quite needed. AI is a tool work with their clients and work. Not always automatically. There are many static workflows which works very well in the generative AI. Or mostly you come across such static workflows. Not always the agentic workflows are the automatic workflows. Perfect, perfect. Is it not? It's a subject or okay? It's a part of deep learning, in fact. Okay. LLM based content, perfect. But that's really good. Really good responses. It's a very good responses. Uh, okay, okay. I will do it. I'll do that. Mm. Okay, I'll just. Okay, please turn off your videos. Hope all videos are off. Thereby we can save some bandwidth. Okay, this is good. Okay, now now I'll write something which is similar to your responses about the generative AI. This is a generative AI. Generative AI, in fact, it is an AI system, an AI system that can generate, that can generate, in fact, very high quality content or very high quality content like text, audio, images, video, and another very interesting thing, code. Okay. It's an artificial intelligence system which can generate the very high quality content, and this content is in fact creative and very similar to the human generated content. Very similar to the human generated content. Very creative and similar to the human generative content. Because this AI system, because this AI system mimics the this AI system mimics the human cognition and creativity, in fact, through parameters. Okay. This is my definition of Gen AI. Facing internet issue. I think I am with the fastest connection. Yes. Okay. This is my definition of Gen AI, which is quite similar to your definitions, in fact. Okay. An AI system which generates content, which generates a high quality or good quality content, content like text, audio, images, video, code, which is very creative and similar to the human generated content. Because the system which generates the content, it mimics the cognition and the creativity, human cognition and the creativity. But there is a problem here. The problem here is, okay, in fact, it is not a, in fact, in order to make a system generate something, we need to provide something as an input. In order to make system generate something, we need to provide input, some input to the system. Otherwise, there are no perpetual machines. In fact, without any input, they cannot generate, no machine cannot generate anything. There is some input is needed. Now, what type of inputs are possible, and what is the name assigned or jargon assigned to that input? Yes, prompt. Everything coming accurately, not always accurately. It generates good quality content, but not always accurately. Whenever I say good quality content, the content is, as I mentioned here, the content is really creative and similar to the human generated content. This is what exactly the high quality in my sense. Whenever I say high quality, I have referred or I have defined here. In my sense, the high quality is the creative and similar to the human generated content. Creative and similar to the human generated content. Okay. Now, what is the input? Yes, input is the input to this AI system is called as prompt. Now, if it is prompt, now my next question is, what are the ingredients of this prompt, or what are the elements of this prompt? Very informally, what are the ingredients of this prompt? What are the ingredients of this prompt? Uh, okay. Okay. Relevant question. Okay. Processed data. In fact, it is a query. Always it is processed. Input, role, task, do, tone. Okay. 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 Well, okay. All right. Yes. Now, first thing is, as you all mentioned, the first thing is some text. We frequently call it as a query, or something like a input. Most of the cases, we are aware that prompt consists of only one ingredient, that is the text query and input. But along with this text query or input to the prompt, we will add sometimes we'll add some context, some contextual information, some contextual information. Some contextual information, and sometimes we'll add the examples which guides the model. not just the text. Along with the text or query, along with some input or query, we always add something like a contextual information and examples which guides LLM, which guides LLM. Okay, we'll see this contextual information maybe in the next session, either in the form of a context added in the rack or in the form of a some memory. And maybe in the next session, we'll see these two, in fact, some examples. This is something like a few shot prompting. In the next session, I'll discuss all these things. Few shot prompting are very popular types of prompting like chain of thought prompting. Okay. It requires some examples too. Along with the query or input, it requires some examples too. Okay. These are the three main ingredients in any text prompt. In any text prompt, these are the three main ingredients. And this is all about the what is GenAI. Anything in the form of instruction, information, perfect. And the role and context are the parts of prompts, are the parts of query. Okay, that is fine. Data with proper instruction, perfect. Okay, data with proper instruction is always called as prompt. That is really good. Okay, but but if I divide the data with clear instruction into the parts, these are the three main ingredients or three main elements in prompts. One is the text, one is the text in the form of query or text in the form of input. Other is the contextual information, like some context added in the form of some context added in RAG or some context added through memory, or some examples like few shot prompting and chain of thought prompting. We'll discuss all these things. Okay, this is whole about the what is GenAI. But now what is GenAI is pretty clear and most of you are aware. Now my next question is, okay, it seems very good. Then why? Why GenAI? Why people are really much interested in GenAI? Okay, if you look at this AI, the developments of AI since 1980 or 1990 onwards, all this since 1970 onwards, many of the machine learning algorithms have started, and in the 2010s to 2010 to 2020, a lot of deep learning algorithms are improved, are devised, and a lot of compute is available. Then why people are not very crazy about all those things, but people are very interested in this Gen AI. Why is it so? Why? Why Gen AI gets more? Why Gen AI gains more popularity? Why Gen AI gains more popularity? Okay, we will discuss about this RAG in the next session. Okay, whatever I write in the sheet, I'll discuss everything. Okay, okay, if I discuss at this point itself, there's an indication that I won't discuss in the further sessions. If I don't discuss any topic which is written on the sheet, there's an indication that in the next sessions we'll be discussing about those topics. Okay, I have written few things like RAG memory, few shot prompting, and COT. Okay, I did not discuss anything about these four jargons or four pieces. Then I'll discuss in the further sessions. Synthetic data generation. In fact, okay. Yes, non-availability of the sufficient labeled data. This is really a good answer, because most of the times people who are in the research are aware what's the value of data and how difficult it to collect the data and use the data in the research. Yes, it's a really good answer. Non-availability of the data. Of the data, more precisely labeled data. and not always the label data. There are some disciplines like the banking and the healthcare sectors. It is very tough to find data in the healthcare mostly. No, I'm not pretty sure about the banking because I work in in the healthcare. I'm very sure that it is very tough to collect data from the healthcare, data pertaining to the healthcare. Uh, Easy. Okay. In fact, this is a good answer. Instead of calling it easy or easy and fast, I can call this as a I can call it as a it is zero barrier entry. Not easy. It is a zero barrier entry. It's a very good answer. Zero barrier entry. Okay. Hmm. It transforms the way we work rather than transforms. I could say, okay. It improves the productivity. Yes. It helps to improve the it helps to improve the productivity. To improve the productivity. Yes, automation is the one way of improving the productivity. User convenience. This is really good. Yes, user convenience are mostly users are really happy with the GenAI applications. Users are really happy with the GenAI applications. Are really other than writing happy, users are really interested at GenAI applications. GenAI applications. And one example for this is the first ever chat application, which gains a lot of popularity. There are many chat applications available, but this is the first ever chat application which is launched in 2022, which gains a lot of popularity and which reaches 1 million downloads in a span of just 2 months. In a span of just 2 months. But if you look at the other very popular applications like Instagram and TikTok, it takes a lot of time to reach 1 million downloads. This is one indication that people are really interested in these type of generative AI applications. Speed and massive time saving. Rather than calling it speed and massive time saving, I'll refer it as a, I'll refer it as a, for building any application, development wise, it is very quick. Okay, or less development time, very less development time, less development time. Answering in an instant. Okay, in fact, it is not so. See, whenever you use this OpenAI APIs, whenever you use these APIs, which are on the whenever you use this API like OpenAI and Gemini, those models are hosted on very high speed compute. Thereby, you will get very quick responses. But if you host any LLM in your local, even the LLM is a very small LLM or a very small, even the model is a very small model like 5.3 or 5.4 or Q, and it takes a lot of time. Okay, it is the speed is purely based on the compute. Okay, save time and easy to use. Perfect. All I have written here. Save time is nothing but the very less development time. Easy to use is the zero barrier entry. Automation, which improves the productivity. Yes, creativity at scale. Okay, automation which improves the productivity. Without coding in simple language, we get out. Not always. Without coding in simple language, we get out desired output. Not always. Not always. Or I can say, you'll get the desired output without coding, or it can this happens whenever your number of parameters are large. Otherwise, it won't happen. With the small language models or with the small language models cannot have that reasoning capability. Only large language models have the reasoning capability. Simple and short. Mhm. Create new tools rather than calling it as a tools applications. Create new applications, or a very innovative applications. I'll write here. You can create rather than creating, just you can develop very innovative applications. Very innovative applications. Yes, development time, as I mentioned already. Yes, this is really good answer. It reduces the effort on tedious and monotonous tasks. In fact, people have started addressing the tedious and monotonous tasks since long. I think this is one motivation for the robots. Okay? Tedious and monotonous to avoid or to make to get rid of the people doing these tedious and monotonous tasks. Yes. Personalized content creation, even that is good. Nowadays, a lot of Gen AI applications are used for the content creation. In fact, mostly used in the content creation. It is mostly used in the content creation. Okay. And one more thing is, no need of much technical expertise to build an application. No need of any technical expertise to build an application. To build an application. That is, for example, if you want to build an application using any of the machine learning or the deep learning traditional algorithms, okay, to get an application out which performs well, to get an application out which performs well, it barely needs, barely, okay, it good technical expertise. Very good, very high or very good techniques, good technical expertise is needed in order to develop an application using the traditional algorithms. But now we have the trained models available. But we have all these LLMs are the trained models. These LLMs are rather than writing LLMs, all the large models. Whenever I say large models, it might be a language model, might be an audio, a video, or any model it is. Okay. Already these are trained on vast amount of data. Already these are trained on vast amount of data. Thereby, there is no need of further training. This is one more reason why people are really interested at the Gen AI. See, if you want to build a Gen AI application, no need of technical expertise, no need of knowing any algorithms. Just it is it is just an API call for. If you know how to host an LLM, or if you know how to make an API call, that's it. Okay. Now, now we are comfortable with what is Gen AI and why Gen AI. Then, in the Gen AI, as far as this FDP is concerned, will be mainly focused on the language models. Language models are very precisely will be mainly focused on large language models. Large language models. And soon you'll understand why I keep this large in the quotations. In fact, it is an adjective added to the language models. An adjective added to the language models called as large language models. Okay, that is, we'll be discussing mainly about the language models, and And we'll be discussing mainly about the large language models. In fact, large is an adjective added to these language models. Okay. Now I want to know. Okay, rather than knowing about this, rather than discussing about what exactly is the large language model, we'll start our discussion on the what exactly is the model elements, what is a model, and how to get a model. What is a model, and how a layman can assume a model. How a layman can assume a model, or how to communicate the same to a layman. Rather than layman, same to a school going student. Yes. Voice is not audible. I hope it is audible. Okay. Can we improve the voice quality, please? I'll do it. I think hope it is audible to you. Oh, thank you, thank you. No need to confirm. That's fine. Okay. Now I want to know from you what is a model and how to communicate the same to a school going student in a very easy way. Okay. Okay. Please don't post these messages. This really disturbs the flow. Mhm. What is a model and how to easily communicate this model to anyone? Can I get some responses? Okay. A simple design to show something. Mhm. Mhm. A framework or structure, this is fine. The prototype to achieve make some task. Okay. Input and output with processing element and memory. I think I have asked very generalized question. A trained algorithm. Mhm. An algorithm which is trained on the data. Okay. Yes, a mathematical equation. Okay, this is really a good answer. Uh, a simple representation, perfect. It's a very good answer. Closed framework. Okay. Output of a trained algorithm. This is fine. See prototype, even that is good. A mathematical programming or a mathematical equation. Okay. An algorithm kind, oh, not an algorithm kind, an output from the algorithm which is trained on the data. Okay, I think I got few responses. A specific style. Okay. Simplified version of something. Okay. Something used to explain. Yes, perfect. Explain, study, or predict. Yes. I think this is a definition straight from the, this is a definition quite suitable for the research methodology. Okay, explain study and predict behavior. It's a very good thing, in fact. Okay, mathematical model informs. Okay, it's like one kind of data structure to store the data. Maybe I can call it as a class instead of model. Not able to join in the. I'm sorry. Please. Okay, trained program. Okay, is it? Okay. In fact, if you look at this model, mostly people refer it as a mathematical representation of reality, but it is quite abstract. A model is a mathematical representation of reality. Okay, but this definition is very abstract, very abstract. Thereby, we can say one easy way is model is something model is something which makes or which builds the relationship between the inputs and outputs, which builds a relationship between inputs and outputs. Okay, it is a very similar sort, like a function which builds the relationship between the domain and codomain or domain and range, a very similar sort. Okay, if you consider this as an x, if you consider this as an x, it takes the x and returns the y. Very simple representation of model is y is equal to f of x. But but the people who know statistics very well or people who are experts in the machine learning don't agree this. Okay, in fact, it's a parametric model. But to explain the model, this is a quite good definition as far as I am concerned. Okay, very precisely, it is not the perfect definition of a model. We frequently statisticians and the machine learning people call it as a parametric model. It's a parametric model. Okay, it's a parametric model, but it gives a very good description of the model. Whenever you give some input, model is something which builds the relationship between input and the output. Model is something which builds the relationship between input and the output. Okay. Now, I think hope it is a good description about the model. Uh, Trained data, mathematical equation. Okay. Yes. It's a yeah, okay, GAN algorithm. So basically, we define it as a function. Uh, Not always, as I mentioned. Okay, model finds the relationship between input and output. This is a perfect definition for model, but this is not. There are some problems. In fact, uh, this is y is equal to f of x is called as a parametric model. Okay, but whatever may be the model it is, every model is intended to build, every model intention is to, or building model, the intention of building model is to find the relationship between inputs and outputs. Okay. And the very easy form of a model one can assume is the y is equal to f of x, or I can say y is equal to x square plus 2. It is a model. The values of x are the inputs and values of y are the values obtained by giving inputs are the outputs. If x is equal to 1, it is 3 output input. If x is equal to 2, it is 6. If x is equal to 3, it is 11. And model is something which finds the relationship between this 1 and 3 as x squared plus 2. Okay, this is a very easy description of a model. But mostly we assume models in this way. Y is equal to W1, okay, Y is equal to sum W1 x1 plus b. Okay, mostly we assume models as a linear entities. Okay. In the machine learning, if you go to the deep learning, it takes a different turn. Yes. Y is equal to processed inputs. Okay, yes. Okay, this is about the model. Now I'll add one more term to the model that is called as language model. Now, what is a language model? What is a language model? Now we are aware a model is something which builds the relationship between inputs and the outputs. Output is equal to function of inputs. This is the model. Now, what is a language model? A language model, okay, I'll make one. A language model which finds the relationship between output text and input text. Output text and input text. Okay. Other than this, what is a language model? Not just finding the relationship, what is the language model? Which deals with the language, as I have already mentioned, input text and output text relationships, which takes input as text and gives output as a text. Already I have mentioned it. Okay. Other than this, what exactly is that? It can process the large volumes of text. Yes, which predicts the human text. Yes, we have already discussed it. This is called as the generative. This is good answer. A language model is a next word predictor. A next word predictor. And how it predicts the next word? Okay, that we will discuss further. Now, that we will discuss further. Then, just I want to know what is a language model. Yes, this is a good answer. Based on training. Yes, based on training, it can predict. Perfect. Okay. First, we'll focus on this question, a language model. Then we'll go for the how next word prediction, how it predicts the next word. First, we'll discuss about what is a language model. Then we'll move to how it predicts the next word. Okay, fine. That is fine. That is fine. We'll start. A language model. Okay, a language model which try to understand the which tries to understand language in such a way that which tries to understand language in such a way that okay, it learns how words occur together in natural language. Okay, instead, I will use another color. It learns how words occur together in natural language. In natural language. A language model is something which tries to understand the input and output, which tries to understand the input and output in such a way that through these inputs and outputs, it learns the how words occur together in the natural language. Thereby, whenever it knows how words occur together in the natural language, thereby it can very easily predict the next word like this. For example, if I write something like good, if I write something like good, then we can easily predict the next word because we understood was the relationship. We understood what are the words which frequently come with the good. In the same way, language model learns the words which occur together. Once it learns the words which occur together, it is very easy for a language model to predict the next word. Okay? Language models are models which learns the words which occur together like humans. Okay, whenever I write good and after that if I give a blank, then we can easily predict what might be the next word like morning, evening, night, boy, girl. For example, along with the good, now what I will do is I'll add some context to it. I'll add some context to it, and the context is something like this. Okay. Now, at 6 p.m. in the evening, at 6 p.m. in the evening, okay, during the start of my session, during the start of my session, okay, I have greeted audience. I have greeted audience. Uh, I have greeted audience as good and dash. Thereby, whenever I add some context, now you can say it is evening. It is evening. This is what exactly the language model do. Whenever you provide the context, this language model predicts the next word. This is called as, in fact, this is called as probabilistic language model. This is called as probabilistic language model. This is called as probabilistic language modeling, and uh, it is available since naive base, since the base rule onwards. Okay, our base rule is the basic for this probabilistic language modeling. Okay. Language modeling is nothing but just learning learning okay, how words occur together. Thereby, whenever I provide a context, my model can predict the next word. My model can predict the next word. Based on the sequence of previous three words, morning, evening, perfect. Beyond human capability, computer-generated algorithms can analyze text in different context. Yes, yes, yes. This is agreed. And but the problem is, we don't have that time to discuss about what are different context and how it really happens with the help of the architectures like transformers. Yes, Bayesian approach. Yes, perfect. So very good answers. Very good answers. Okay, language modeling is predicting the next word based on the context provided, based on the provided context. Okay, predicting the next word based on the context provided. And I forgot one piece of discussion. Okay, I have discussed about the model but I did not discuss very precisely about how to get a model. Okay, we are referring that we have large language model available in the form of APIs, large audio models available, and large video models available. But my question is how to get a model, or very precisely, how to train a model. How to train a model. Maybe the people who are aware of the machine learning and deep learning, those people may aware. But I'm discussing this for the sake of people who are very new to this, new to the ML and DL, very new to this Gen AI, other than ML and DL, or they are not much aware of ML and DL. Okay, just how to train a model and how to get a model. Okay, very frequently I have been referring that large language model. How to get such large language model? Large data sets. Okay. Okay. My question is, what's the procedure? What is the procedure involved in getting the model or training the model? Okay. And the procedure involved is something like this. Whenever you have a data available, just give this data to an algorithm, and this algorithm gives a model. Okay. In case of large language model, just provide a large amount of data. Provide a large amount of data as input to an algorithm named as the architecture called as transformer architecture. Transformer architecture, and you will get okay, a large model, not the large language model, a large model. And if you provide this a large amount of text data, thereby you will get result as a large language model. Large language model. Okay. Whenever you provide a large amount of text to an algorithm named as transformer architecture, you will get the large language model as an output. Okay, this is how we train it. A model, large data sets. It's a continuous process. Yes. Uh, it's a continuous process, a process of processing data. Yes, in fact. Data sets. Okay, yes. Large amount of data and with the help of data sets. Okay. On the basis of feedbacks, models can be improved as we give feedback. Okay, in fact, it is altogether different discussion. It is something like as you are mentioning the feedback. It is something like the feedback. There is a name for the feedback for the large language models, particularly in the chat GPT sort of things. It is called as the reinforcement learning with human feedback, and and this can be done. This can be carried out by using a procedure named as alignment tuning. Alignment tuning. Okay. Once after a model is trained, it is tuned for alignment or alignment tuning. And in the process of alignment tuning, we continuously compare our model with the data sets which are available, and this is called as the reinforcement learning with human feedback. Okay, fine, fine. Okay, yes. Now we have discussed about what is a model. A model is mm, mm. A model is something which finds the relationship between inputs and outputs, and a language model is something which finds the relationship between input text and output text in such a way that okay, in such a way that it learns how words occur together in the natural language. Whenever it learns how words occur together in the natural language, thereby it is very easy to predict the next word. And the language modeling is nothing but the next word predicting. Our language models continuously predict the next word. All right, here. Whenever you provide an input in the form of a prompt, then language models will continuously predict the next word till it predicts a last word as the end of the sentence. It continuously predicts the next words till end of the sentence. This is a language model. Now, once after the language model, now we'll discuss about why adjective large. Why adjective large? The question is this large? Is it because of large data or because of yes, you have yes, you may come across something called as parameters because of the large number of parameters. Okay. Now, before starting our discussion on this, okay, I just want to communicate to you what is a parameter. Okay, already we have discussed about the model. At the time of discussion on the model, I have written a simple model here. What's that model? Y is equal to W1 X1 plus B. Okay, and at the time of modeling, we always tries to predict this, or we always tries to find out the values of W and B. We always tries to find values of W and B because X is the input that we are aware of. Y is the output you will get whenever you provide X as an input. And in order to make this model, there are two things you need to find out. And these two things are W and B. These W and B are the parameters. Okay. And if you look at the any large language model, any large language models, most of the large language models have a millions of parameters and millions and billions of parameters. Millions and billions of parameters. That is millions and billions of W's parameters. Okay. Now the question is, for this language models, an adjective large is added before to this. Now my question is this adjective because of the large data or because of the large parameters? Okay, those who are new to this discipline, they may not answer, that is even fine. Okay. But my way of teaching is I always ask some questions, and based on the questions, I try to extract the answers. Use training data used for training and parameters. Linear equations, not always. Weights and biases. Okay. Okay. See, this is really good. This is really good. Majority of the people are giving the correct answer. It is because of the parameters we call it as a large language model. This is really good, in fact. Okay. Yes, it is because of the parameters we are calling it as a, it is because of the large number of parameters, we are calling it as a large language model. The adjective large is because of the large number of parameters of these models. Okay, for example, if you look at a very simple, very basic models, previously like a GPT-3, which consists of 175 billion parameters, and Llama, 405 billion parameters. Okay, these are few very popular models long back. If you look at those parameters itself, these are quite high. 175 billions and the 405 billions. Okay. Because of the large number of parameters, we call these models as a large language models. Now, my question is, why not? Why not large amount of data? Why not large amount of data? Why only because of parameters? Or I can say, what advantage we get through these parameters? Or why parameters are important over the data? My question is like this. Why? Why parameters were given importance? Why parameters were given importance instead of the large amount of data? Okay. Even getting data is quite tough. Getting data is quite tough. Then even though it is quite tough, why parameters were given more importance? Data can be repetitive, but parameter cannot. Okay. Parameters help to classify the data for performance. Parameters are the features that can uniquely identify the relationships to measure the performance. More parameters, wide understanding the, okay, more parameters leads to good understanding the data. It is fine. More number of input combinations are possible. Okay. Parameters are the more accurate. Parameters are more accurate than, are more accurate than data, as they help to understand. This is good. Due to more number of parameters, dimensions will increase. Okay. Parameters helps in understanding the data better. Yes, parameters work same for any amount of data. Okay, now I'll answer this. Okay. The parameters, the number of parameters is proportional to the intelligence of the model. Intelligence of the model, or I can say, yes, number of parameters increases. Yes, number of parameters increases. Okay. Your model can perform, or your model can achieve, your model can achieve more, your model can achieve Your model can achieve very special skills. That is, if the number of parameters are small, if the number of parameters are small, we can say that these models can just understand the data, just understand the data. But if the number of parameters increases from the small to medium, this models can this model start solving the puzzles, start solving the puzzles. And this model starts performing a small amount of reasoning too, or solving the language, or sorry, rather than solving, these models can perform the language reasoning. Yes, the models becomes as the number of parameters are large. As the number of parameters are large, thereby these models can perform reasoning, and these models can solve very complicated problems too. Very complicated problems too. As the number of parameters increases, models gain more skills, or models gain special skills. As the number of parameters increases, models gain special skills. Thereby, it can solve. Yes, it can generate more reasoning capabilities, or strong reasoning capabilities. Strong reasoning capabilities. If you look at the small models, smart models are good at the basic understanding of the data and do some arithmetics. And medium models are good at the solving some puzzles. And large models are very good at the performing are solving very complex tasks. Okay. As the number of parameters increases, these models gain the special skills, because models are gaining the special skills, parameters are giving importance instead of the large amount of data. Because we are really interested in these special skills, this reasoning and all. That's the reason why models were given importance. Sorry, parameters were given importance than the large amount of data. Okay. Yes. How much time it can take to develop large language AI model? It's a good question. It is purely based on the compute you have. It is purely based on the compute you have. Yes, in fact, it is correct. Transformer models are very dense. Not just dense. Transformer models are. See, I don't want to take this terminology in the workshop, because we are not discussing. We won't be discussing about the transformer here. The people who are very new to this discipline, or new to this Gen A, they don't know these transformers. That's the reason I don't want to discuss much about it. But in fact, transformer models are not just dense. Transformer models has the large number of encoder and decoder layers, and the number of computations are also high. Okay, and the amount of input it takes is quite long. Because of that reason, the number of parameters are quite large. Okay. This is about the large language model. I think I have spent a good amount of time in the large language model. I'll just write a summary about this large language model. What exactly is the large language model? Large language model. A model is just it builds the relationships between input and output. Language modeling is a model which builds the relationship between input and output. Language models are Okay. By building by building relationships between the word co-occurrences, word co-occurrences, language models predicts the next word, predicts the next word based on the context, next word based on the context or based on the previous words. By learning the relationships between the words, relationship between words through their co-occurrences, words through their co-occurrences. Okay. Language models can predict the next word based on the previous words. Or I call it as a context. And, and in order to gain, special capabilities are in order to gain the reasoning capabilities, to gain rather than gain, so gain is informal, to achieve reasoning capabilities like humans, the language models are trained with large data is trained with algorithm, large data large models. In order to achieve the reasoning capabilities like humans, a large language data is trained on an algorithm and gets the large language models with large number of parameters. With a large number of parameters. Large language models are the models which predicts the next word and which is trained on the large amount of language data, which leads to the large amount of parameters for better reasoning capabilities like humans. This is what exactly the large language models are. Now, once we are comfortable with the language models and large language models, we'll go to the next step. Before going to the next step, just if you have any questions, just post the questions. I'll try to answer the questions. Then we'll move to the interacting with the language models. Can I know the scope for AI applications in the education, especially in the large language models? See, with these large language models, particularly in education, uh, nowadays it is very, in fact, you can create good infographics. This is one thing you can do, but one problem with the infographics is uh, uh, it takes a large number of tokens. I'll write here once. This is a really good question. In the education, in the education, or I could say in the academia, okay, with the help of large language models, you can create very good infographics and uh, very good material, okay, with very precise explanations and examples and examples. Okay, this is one thing which you can very easily perform. But this is one thing. This is not very easy, but this is not very easy. That is infographics. Generating infographics is not very easy. Most of the models take a large number of tokens to do this. Large number of tokens to do this. Large number of tokens to do this, but every model has some free tier available. There are models available outside which has some free tier available. Within the free tier, you can build good amount of infographics. For example, if you look at the Nano Banana, say Gemini's Nano Banana model, which really creates very good infographics or very good images. But the number of tokens are limited. In a day, you can create a couple of images, a couple of infographics in a day. This will really help to make people understand and make even you understand this. And along with that, one advantage of the large language models, which I frequently do, is whenever I want to read any research article, okay, what I always do is I'll summarize and read the article. First, I summarize it, then I'll go through the actual article. This is one good way of doing, or one good way of using these large language models. They exist and we have to just learn to use them. Large language models can be developed. No need to develop individually. If you want to develop any large language model, rather than develop, I could say, if you want to train any large language model by yourself, it really takes millions and billions of dollars. Okay, already a lot of large language models available. Okay, and few are in the open source, few are open source, and few are in the paid versions too. A good amount of large language models are already available. No need to train. Even we want to train, it takes a lot of money. Okay, only one thing we need to do is how to use that large language model and improve our productivity. This is one thing we can do with the large language models. Okay, a good number of models are available, and we'll see that too. Is the dimensionality reduction process happening in LLMs as well? in fact, no algorithm can get rid of this dimensionality reduction. Even with the large language models, even with the large language models, this the dimensionality of the embeddings and dimensionality is really a big problem. Okay? When developing application using LLM, prompt is important. Yes, uh, prompt is a major role. Or only with the prompt you can control the generation. This is really a good question. I cannot say prompt is important. Uh, Prompt is the only one which can control the generation. Thereby, only prompt is important for this large language models. And how are you giving the prompt is quite important. Thank you. Can you explain it again? Neha sir, what is your question? Could you please repeat your question? Thereby I can understand what I need to explain again. Hope this is the last question. Um, Neha sir. Okay, just paste your question. I'll again explain. Okay, now we look at few large language models available outside that we can employ and perform our tasks productively. There are mainly two types of large language models available. One type of large language models are the open source LLMs. Another is the opposite to this, closed source or proprietary. Or proprietary models. Okay, a large number of open source models are available, and a good amount of open source models you'll find in a repository named as Hugging Face. In a repository named as Hugging Face, you'll find a large number of open source models. And there are many closed source models are proprietary, I could say paid models. Whenever I say open source, free models. Okay. There are many paid models available, like our OpenAI models like GPTs, very popular ones, and Google's models, Gemini's. Then our Anthropic, a family of Claude models, like Opus, Haiku, and Grok's models. And Grok's models, that is Grok compound. Along with that, mm, there are many proprietary models available. Okay, and there are a very large number of Hugging Face models, open source models available, and few of the models which are very popular are, one is the DeepSeek, a very popular model which you find in the which is an open source model and you find in the Hugging Face. And another very popular large language model is the Qwen, and you'll find in the Hugging Face. If you want, you can use this in your computer, because very small version of Qwen is available, like around 5 billion or 7 billion parameters. If you want, you can use this in your computer. And one more model which is very small that you can use in your computer is the Phi 3 Microsoft. This is the Alibaba's. This is Alibaba model, Qwen, and the Microsoft model, Phi 3. Okay, if you want, this is a small model. If you want, you can use this in your computer. And one of the GPT model is available for free. It is called as GPT Voices. GPT Voices. And there are one more set of models available named as Llama. Okay. This is the free model available, even the Hugging Face, a OpenAI model, and Llama, it is the Facebook's Meta's model. Okay, all these models, what I have written here, you can find the DeepSeek model in the Hugging Face, Qwen in the Hugging Face, Phi 3 in the Hugging Face, Llama in the Hugging Face. If you want, you can use this, but you need to host these models. You need to host these models in a server or in the cloud. But if you want to host in the cloud, already there are some cloud providers available which can sell the APIs, or which are selling the APIs. You can go with it. And even for this proprietary models, okay, OpenAI GPT is you need to purchase it. If you want to use, you need to get the recharge, or you need to do the recharge for this. And for Gemini, we have free tier available. In this course, we'll be using this free tier Gemini. This is quite useful. And again, you need to pay for this Anthropic family of models. And for the Grok, again, free tier available. And there are some Mistral models which are open source, and there are some other Mistral models which are paid, and even for the Mistral free tier available. You can use these models for free up to some extent. They have some limitations, but up to some extent you can use this. But as far as this course is concerned, okay, for our use case, this free tier is enough. Okay, we can use the Google's Gemini models for free up to some extent, and Grok's compounder. There are many other models available in the Grok. For you can use it for free up to some extent, and even for the Mistral you can use. Okay. These are some left side are the open source models, right side are the proprietary large language models available. Yes. Yes. Prompt is the way human communicate with the LLMs. Can LLMs replace human intelligence completely? No. LLMs can improve our productivity. This is one thing now people are very sure about. Other than that, replacing humans, nobody is sure about it. What is Hugging Face? It's a repository. I'll show you. Okay. Hugging Face is a repository. I'll show you. A repository, you will find a large number of data sets and models. What do you mean that we can use the model? We can use the, okay. Whenever I say we can use the models, okay, this is a good question, in fact, a very precise question. We can use the model for free time, or we can use the model. Okay. My intention is just you can create a client of the model, and to this client, just give a prompt or ask your query and get the response. Okay, this is what exactly my intention is. Just to create a client, or very easy way, just to create an object of the model, then give a prompt to this model and get the response from the model. This is what my intention of using the model. Create a client, give the prompt, get the response. Okay. Now, now we'll move to this. Now we'll move to this Google Collaboratory, and we'll try to interact with few models. Okay. I'll write here once. Maybe a few people are new to this Google Colab. Now I'll use the Google Colab. Google Colab, and in the Google Colab, I can write the Python code. In this Google Colab, I can write the Python code. Through this Python code, I want to interact with, okay, I'll interact with an LLMs. Whenever I say interacting, ask query in the form of prompt, and get the response. We'll use Google Colab and we'll try to do this. Yes, okay. Attendance link. Okay, I'll give. Agentic AI versus LLMs. I'll explain. See, maybe in the future sessions we'll see. What do you mean that? Okay, fine. Okay, I'll share. Okay, we'll just take a 4 minutes of break till 7:40. Okay, in the meantime, I'll share the attendance link, scan the attendance link to get the attendance. Now the number of participants are 713. I'll share the attendance link. In my desktop, it is available. Desktop. Yes. To get the attendance, just scan this attendance link. Along with this, I'll share this. Okay, I'll share the link form address to in the chat box. Just fill this form. In the meantime, if you have any questions, I'll answer the queries. Just fill this form to get the today's attendance, and every day I'll share different forms to get that. Okay, for the attendance, you must fill all the 5 days attendance forms to get the certificate. Okay. In the meantime, if you have any queries, you may post your queries. I'll answer these queries. Okay, I'll share the material. Are there any small language models? Yes. Yes, in fact, there are many small language models available. Whenever I say small language models, the number of parameters are small in number and the capabilities are also less in comparison with the large language models. Okay, for specific tasks, you can go with the small language models. Will we learn how to? No need to. No, it's easy. Just I have used the jargon named as clients, but in fact, it's a very easy process. I'll show you. See, no need to remember any syntaxes. I'll show you from where to get the code. Just what I'll do is throughout this course, mostly what I'll do is I'll just go to the library, I'll get the code, and I'll make you work with the code. That's it. Rather than teaching syntaxes, okay, we just go and get the code from the libraries. And it is, in fact, it is recommended for the Gen AI. It is not a good. It is always recommended to go to libraries, read the library, and get the code rather than remembering the syntaxes, because very frequently the syntaxes will change. It is recommended to you go to the libraries and get the code. Okay. As far as creation of client is concerned, it is simple one line of code. We can easily do this. My name is Sriram. I have already shared at the starting of the session itself. I have shared. Okay. At 7:40, I'll resume the session. Quickly scan this. Quickly scan this and get your attendance. Any tutorial or YouTube easy to learn the videos? In fact, this is really a good question. In fact, okay, I'll answer. One problem with the Gen AI is, even though I have shared some tutorials for you to learn, within 2 to 3 months, those tutorials won't be useful. Okay. For example, for example, now I'm teaching something, and this week I'll teach something. Throughout this week I'll teach something. But if you refer this material after 2 months, many of the syntaxes won't work. Okay. This is the problem with the Gen AI as of now. Okay. One thing you need to learn or you need to know here is just how to find the library and try to understand the library and use the pieces of and use the code. That's it. Okay. And in fact, understanding library and get the code from the library is quite easy, that you will realize in the further sessions. Okay. Is it okay to fill the form? I think it is okay. It is okay to fill the form. I think even you scan this, you will get the same form. Ah. What you can predict about AI future in India? See, only thing which stops India for more applications or more development in the AI is just knowledge about AI. Okay, it is very easy to use this AI and build some applications, and most of the people are not aware how easy it is to learn and build the applications. This is the only thing which is stopping now. And see, as I mentioned already, as far as this particularly Gen AI is concerned, it is a zero barrier entry. Everyone can learn and everyone can build an application. Only thing you need to have is, if you have good understanding about the market. Okay, if you have good understanding about the market, then you can build your own application. Okay? It is very easy to learn and apply. For attendance, either scan this QR code or fill the form what I have posted through the chat box. Either is fine. Form fill it, okay. Oh, see, session is till 8 p.m. Many people are saying thank you now. I'll teach till 8 p.m. or sometimes I go beyond 8 p.m. too. How to create our own LLM? Already have answered this question, and again I'll answer. Not create, train. Okay. Training LLM is very costly affair. Okay. It takes millions of money. Training LLM is very costly affair, and not just costly, it requires a lot of technical expertise too. Okay, rather than training our own LLM, it is good to use the LLMs which are available. There are a large number of LLMs available, and those LLMs really works well. Okay, those LLMs really gives the good responses or good outputs. Instead of training our own LLM with our own data, some data, it is good to build an LLM. It is good to use the large language models available outside. Please share form link again. Okay. Okay, instead of transcription, better. I think you'll get access to these recordings. Okay, you can listen to this instead of transcription. Okay. This link is not working. I'm not pretty sure about this link. Mm, how to create data set with less features? I don't understand what is this data set with less features. We cannot limit any data set features. The features of a data set are something which really affects the phenomenon what you want to study. You cannot limit it in fact. Okay, but for example, if you are studying a very complex phenomenon, it requires a large number of features. Okay, if you are studying a very easy phenomenon, thereby you can thereby you can go with a very small number of features. The number of features are purely dependent on the phenomenon you study, rather than the just rather than anything else. Share notes also. I will share. I'll share. Okay. Shall we resume our discussion? Okay. I think, yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. In the remainder of this session, we'll discuss about how to create an API with the Gemini and how to interact with the Gemini LLM. Okay. Okay. Fine. We'll just go with the Google Colab. I'll create. This is how your Google Drive looks like. Okay. What I recommend is just go to the click on New, More, and Google Colab. There are for some people, you cannot directly find the Google Colab here. In such cases, just click on the Connect More apps. Click on the Connect More apps. And in the Connect More apps, you just search for Colab or Collaboratory, Google Collaboratory. Then just open this and install this. Okay, because it is installed in my drive, thereby it is showing an install. If you are new to this, it will show you it will ask you install. Okay, I'll repeat the procedure again. Open your Google Drive. Okay, even it is an official account or your personal account, either is fine. Just click on the more, click on new, click on New, click on More, Google Collaboratory, or click on Connect More Apps. If you cannot find Google Collaboratory here, click on Connect More Apps and use the collab. Enter. You'll find CO. Click on it and install. That's it. Thereby, once you install this, from that point onwards, in the more, you'll find the Google Collaboratory. Then just open the Google Colab. A lot of queries. Uh, Ayyo. I thought there are many queries, but these are not the queries, in fact. If you have any queries, use the chat box. Fine. Now we have created a Google Colab notebook. I'll name it as a FDP on GenAI. Okay. And I'll share this notebook to you. If you really don't, uh, if you don't want to, or if you are not really comfortable with writing this code, okay, just run this. Okay, run this code after the session. I'll share this notebook. Anyone with the link, just download it and run this after the session. And even the session, it is fine. Copy the link. I'll share this. Yes. Okay, I'll share again. Okay, I'll share this content too. Okay. I recommend everyone, I recommend the people who are very new to this GenAI, just write a piece of code along with me. If not, even it is fine. After the session, just run this cells. This will help you to understand what exactly is going on. Please share the feedback you are again. I need to go and take this. Okay. Attendance. Okay, I'll share and I'll pin this. Okay. Now you'll find this at the top. Google Colab link. All they have shared, and again I'll share. Copy the link. Done. Yes. I have shared the Google Colab. Now first we'll start our discussion with interacting with the interacting with Gemini large language model. Gemini large language model. We'll start with this one. Interacting with the Gemini large language model. To interact with the Gemini large language model, okay, what I suggest is first we need to create an API key. Create an API key. In fact, it is free if you have the Google account. It is free if you have the Google account. I'll show you how to do this. Okay. I'll open a new tab. In the new tab, I'll type Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio. Google AI Studio. Okay, I'll show you again. Once you type this Google AI Studio, just open the Google AI Studio. In my case, already have access there, or I have already account in this. Thereby, directly I go with, I start with this, or it shows this API key. For you, it will show in like this. Google AI Studio. Yes. Okay. Once you find this page, go to get started. After you get started, give your email ID. Next, then give your password. Thereby, give your password. Thereby, you'll end up with this, and you'll find this dashboard page. You'll find a page like this. Log into this Google AI Studio. Hmm. Log in with the Google. Thereby, you'll find this type of dashboard. Once you find this type of dashboard, at the left bot, see this here. Get API key. The left side bottom, you'll find get API key. Just click on get API key. Thereby, for you, it is an empty screen. Or for you, your API, there are your API's screen, sir. Please share the WhatsApp group, sir. This is in the WhatsApp group. Okay, I'm not sure about this WhatsApp group. That I'll inquire about it. Okay. Hmm. From the dashboard, get API key and create API key. Create API key. Just give some name to this API key. Give some name to this API key. I'll call it as an FDP API key. And give some name about, give some, create a new project and give some name. For me, I have a default project available. Even for you, a default if any default project is available, that is fine. If not, just click on plus and create a project, and just click on create a key. Yes, now this key is available. Now this key is available. Okay, the first one is the key. Anyway, first one is the key because it's a free type key. Even someone find this key, or even someone use this key. That doesn't makes any cost. That doesn't create any cost. That doesn't makes any cost for you. It's a free tier API key. Even if someone uses it, you won't get access to the Gemini LLM for 1 day, for 24 hours. After that you'll get the access. That's it. Even someone sees this, that is even fine. Yes, this is the problem. As I mentioned, free tier, the number of not tokens, the not just tokens. We are not really much bothered about the tokens. We are really bothered about the number of requests we make in a minute and in an hour and in a day. Okay, even tokens is quite good. Whenever we are dealing with a large amount of data, then we should bother about the tokens. Then we should bother about the tokens. But okay. uh, but mostly we are interested because we are not mainly involved in working with a large amount of data. So now we are much bothered about the number of requests. Okay, how many requests they are allowing per hour and per day. Okay, we'll discuss about it. Okay, now once I get an API key, just to copy the API key. Just to copy the API key. After copying the API key, go to the Google Colab that we have created. Okay. Go to the secrets. Go to the secrets. Okay. I have a lot of secrets available, but for you it will be empty. Just click on add new secret. Click on add new secret. Just give some name. Give some name to this API key that you can easily remember and easily type. Something like FDP Gemini GEM. This is thereby I can easily remember it and I can easily reuse it. I have given some name to this and paste the key here. Once you give the name, just paste the key here. Once you paste the key, then click here, thereby it will be enabled. Click here, thereby it will be enabled. Once it is enabled, you can use this. I'll show you how to use this. Once it is enabled, you can use this. I'll show you how to use this. Which model you suggest in the Google AI Studio? Yes, we will discuss. Okay, I don't directly go with the models. There are many models available, but what I will do is I'll go with the Google documentation, this Gemini documentation, and I'll be using this Gemini 2.5. Okay, I'll show you how I really go for it. Okay, once I have this API key available with me, now the question is how to create a client. To do that, what I recommend is rather than remembering the procedure, what I recommend is always go with the Gemini API Python. Gemini API Python SDK. Gemini API's Python SDK, but even this SDK available in the Gemini website, but I'm not interested in Gemini website. I always go with the GitHub. Gemini API SDK with the GitHub. Just open this page. Open this page. Once you open this page, you will find some instructions how to install this and how to create a client and all. But I don't recommend doing this. Even this is fine. This will work. Even this will work and this is fine. But I don't recommend doing this. I always recommend going with the code gen instructions which are available here. Code gen instructions. I'll paste the link through chat box. Just find the link in the chat box. Code gen instructions. Okay, I'll show you again. Once you open this, once you open the GitHub page of Python SDK, you'll find some piece of code which is available here. Even it works. But what I recommend is go with the code gen instructions. Once you go with the code gen instructions, okay, along with the working code, you will find some instructions. Okay, these are the instructions. Gemini API coding guidelines. And if you want to use Gemini API, then the name of the API is Google-GenAI, or you want, you can use Google_GenAI too. This is the package name. And if you search for any code outside in the internet, in the web, in the articles, even you find this Google_GenAI, but it is deprecated. Whenever I say deprecated, it is no longer useful. Okay? Even you use this Google hyphen Gen AI, okay, it won't be useful to you or it won't work. Okay. This is the new version, new name and new version of Google Gemini. Now, if you want to install, okay, in the internet, you will find many options of installing. Not just in the internet, even in the chat GPT and even in the chat applications, you will find a lot of code with these installations, but these installations won't work. Only this installation work. Copy this, copy this, go to the Google Colab, paste, and run this. And run this. Okay. And at the time of running, what I suggest is just give the hyphen lowercase q uppercase u space. That is, I want to install the updated version of the Google Gen AI. QU is the quietly updated version of the Google Gen AI. Install this. Once you install this, then next step is to import. Again, for importing, a lot of incorrect syntax is available, and you will find this lot of incorrect syntaxes in the chat applications and in the internet. But only useful import is the this one. From Google, import Gen. From Google, import Gen. This is the useful import statement. There are many incorrect statements available. Okay. And even if you look at the internet, in the internet, a lot of articles available. In the articles, you'll find these codes, this old code or deprecated syntaxes. Out of all this is the use. Okay. Okay. Now already it is 8:02. Okay. Okay, I cannot continue this session further. What I'll do is, already you are aware of this page. Just go through this page. If you find some time that the tomorrow morning or afternoon, or tomorrow if you find some time, just go through this page once. Okay. In the next session, we'll start with this page and we'll try to import this. We'll import the Gemini and we'll interact with the Gemini LLM. Along with that, we'll interact with the another LLM named as Grox LLM. Okay. Yes. Only you are aware of this link. Just go through this link. Just go through this link in the tomorrow before the session. Thereby, we will quickly do this. Okay. Yes. And this is about the today's session. If you have any doubts, you may ask me now. Tomorrow we'll continue from this point onwards. Uh, okay. Uh, what I'll do is I'll share this. I'll share this. Yes. I'll share this. If you want to fill this form, you can fill this form. And if you have any queries, you may ask the queries. And even the form link is available here in the chat box. You access the form link for filling the form to get the attendance. Will you share the recording? I think it is available through YouTube. I don't know. Just check the YouTube Full Stack Experts Academy. I'll show you that once I'll go there. Yes. Just look at this. Faculty Development Program, Full Stack Experts Academy. Okay, in this channel, I think this video is available. Okay, no need of sharing any recording. This video is available in this channel. Just go through that recording if you want. I see this. I'm not sure about this feedback link. Okay, I'm not sure about it. Just ask the coordinator about the feedback. I'm not sure about it. Mm, I think hope you don't have any queries. Mm, mm. Okay, fine, 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 fine. Okay, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your patient listening. Tomorrow, okay. Tomorrow, what you will be covering? In the tomorrow's session, we'll start with the interacting with LLMs. After interacting with LLMs, we'll start our discussion on the context engineering. Okay. Tomorrow we'll be discussing about the not just very regular prompt engineering techniques. Tomorrow we'll be discussing a few prompt engineering techniques which are very popular in the recent days, like the chain of thoughts and tree of thoughts. Okay. Tomorrow we'll see this prompt engineering, this advanced prompt engineering techniques. Along with that, we'll see the basic simple prompt engineering rules for simple prompts, rules for writing a simple prompt, or I can say simple prompt engineering in the tomorrow's session. Along with that, we'll discuss about the capabilities of these elements. Claude, I think. Claude, okay, you'll find this Claude LLMs only through payment or only in the proprietary mode. We need to purchase this API to use the Claude. Thereby, I cannot teach Claude in this type in these sessions. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Okay, those who have scanned this and those who have filled the form, you may leave. No need to ask. It's already beyond 8. You may leave. Okay, you may leave now. Once you fill the form, you may leave. Once you fill this form, you may leave. Okay, no need to ask, you may leave. Okay. After filling this form, you will get the attendance, you may leave. No need to ask. It's already 8:10, around 8:10, you may leave. Okay, I'll share this. I'll share this. I'll share this lecture notes, today's lecture notes.